Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? This is your boy Isaac.
And this is your boy Bryce.
And we are Brothers on Tennis. And guess what, y'all? We have started the 2020 tennis season. Woo!
Yay!
Pop it off, pop it off. Yes, sir. Really quickly, folks, we want to make sure that we engage you early. So we've got a really juicy hot topic for you. I don't know
yes,
how
we
juicy.
do.
Yeah, it's juicy. Because what we want to do is we want to actually talk about this new ATP Cup that they've come out with. Bryce has his thoughts about it. I've got my thoughts about it. We've heard some things, mentioned pros and cons on it. So our hot topic will definitely be around the ATP Cup. So we want you to stick around and listen to what we've got to say about that. Bryce, how you doing today, brother?
I'm doing pretty good. My mind is kind of like, at one point we were thinking we might be going down to the Australian Open, and then, things got kind of crossed up, and then with the fires down there, and just a concern, and, we decided as Brothers on Tennis not to make the trip down to Australia this year. But we plan to hopefully be back next year.
Hey, fingers crossed.
Right. But, while we're talking about Australia, we just want to take a few minutes to let you know. I'm sure everyone is well aware of the tragic fires that they're having down there. Yeah. I think they're calling them the bush fires.
Right.
And just the number of, I think they're up to about 25 lives that have been lost. Mm-hmm. Over 1 billion animals lives that they're thinking has been lost. Many people have lost their homes. Yeah. And when you look at it on a map, just like the whole country is on fire,
just on
basically.
Fire. It's insane.
Yeah, and we do have concerns about what the air quality is going to be like down there at the Australian Open, because a lot of that smoke in the air is blowing towards the Sydney and the Melbourne areas. So very concerned about that. So one of the things we wanted to make sure we promoted today is that there are a bunch of different relief efforts that are occurring for the bushfires. And you can probably just go out there and Google and find a number of credible different organizations if you want to get involved. Right. We did want to mention one that has been advertised on the tennis channel, and that is the Red Cross, of course. And so if you are able to contribute and you desire to do so to the fires that they're having down there, please go to redcross.org.au. Many of you probably saw yesterday Serena donated her total winnings from the tournament in Auckland towards the bushfire relief. So, we don't want to be here just for entertainment. We also want to be here as part of the community. And if you can, once again, that's redcross.org.au.
Absolutely, Bryce. I mean, folks, this is really serious. And speaking of two guys who are actually in the California area, we are very familiar with fires, the impact it can have, and it's just something that is real. And we want everyone to really take it seriously and do your part. Get out there, try and help out as much as you can as it relates to just your donations and just helping to to deal with this tragedy, because it is a tragedy. To have that type of an impact is just horrible. So most definitely. So thank you, Bryce, for talking about that. We're going to swing it around. We're going to get back into some of the things that we were talking about last week. We had a bunch of tennis going on, not only on the men's side, but on the women's side. I mean, 3 tournaments, and Bryce, it was kind of insane. I mean, it's some of them went according to plan.
Most of them didn't.
Most of them did not. I mean, hey, we'll start off in Shenzhen, and I mean, we just automatically thought that Belinda Bencic was just going to, snatch that one away and walk away and have her some good preparation for the Australian Open. And little did we know that Blinkova.
We've been trying to trying to tell people, don't get caught blinking with Blinkova. She'll get you.
And she apparently got Belinda Bencic. Took her out in the first round, 3 tough sets. But I mean, that whole tournament was just up and down, and so you had Alexandrova, who made it to the finals, as well as Rybakina.
Yeah.
Rybakina. I am probably saying her name completely wrong. But good on those two ladies for making it to the finals. I actually, and Bryce, I didn't see this actually posted, so I believe Alexandrova ended up winning, but I don't have the scores in front of me. Do you remember those scores?
I don't remember the scores, but she did win.
Okay, well, and that's
she got the check.
There you go. She got the check. She made her some coins. So, so that in itself is wonderful. But again, something that Brothers on Tennis we did not expect. So, and funny enough, Bencic is apparently trying to rebound at one of the tournaments this week. But we'll get to that shortly. The next tournament, the big one, we'll talk about the big one, and that was in Brisbane, where we had all the ladies. I mean, just all the names. You had Barty, Pliskova, Osaka, Svitolina, Kvitova, Burton's, Konta. Konta pulled out, and Keys. I mean, I tell you what, the folks that made the final, I didn't have them anywhere on my radar.
Well, you know I didn't have Madison Keys on my radar. And that's when you know there's a bunch of upsets in a tournament where Madison Keys gets in the finals. But anyway, I'm going to back off of that a little bit. But we talked about, we thought it was funny that in our predictions last week that neither one of us picked Pliskova, and she was the defending champion.
Look, Pliskova is like, y'all going to give me some damn respect. Y'all going to respect my name. Right? She was like, I don't know who y'all think y'all are. I took out Serena Williams at the Grand Slam.
Yep.
Look, she I don't know what it is about Pliskova though. It's just for whatever reason, I just always underestimate her and her results, but she can play, Bryce.
She can, but I expected her to get to the semifinals.
Yeah.
I just thought she was going to lose to Osaka.
Ah, right.
And really, I watched that match, and she just outplayed.
She just outplayed her.
Yeah. I mean, so and it was
close. It was a tough match. Yeah.
So that was really a good win for her. I knew she was gonna win the tournament when I saw she had Keys in the final. Keys ain't trying to win nothing.
But I tell you what, Keys looked really good getting there. I have to say, for her to take out Stosur, then take out Danielle Collins, who you know is my girl because she's crazy, and then she took out Kvitova. That's a good win. That's a really good win.
It is. But the days of me getting hyped over Madison Keys and a couple of good wins, that's over.
Madison, I have not given up on you. I was very hyped to see you in the final, and I want to see you continue that.
And I'm going to just put a little editorial here.
Yes.
Not only is Madison Keys' window quickly closing with this new batch of women coming up, who else better be looking over their shoulder? Sloane. Well. Now the thing with Sloane is at least she has gotten a Grand Slam. So if Sloane so if she doesn't do anything for the rest of her career, she can be like, I made it to 2 Grand Slam finals and I won one of them, right?
Yeah.
Keys?
Well, I mean, she made the final and, of course, lost to Sloane at U.S. Open. But I do believe that Madison has a Grand Slam title in her. I really believe so, just because from the sheer power that she possesses. I mean, mind you, I know it's all about the mental, and I do feel like there will be that day where she is going to mentally and physically have everything locked in, and she is going to make it happen. Madison, you will win a Grand Slam title. I believe in you.
And what, she gonna beat Caroline Garcia in the finals? Boy, keep dreaming. Anyway.
Evil. I tell you, folks, evil. So anyway, Carolina Pliskova, congratulations on winning the tournament. Like I said, and it was hard fought too. I mean, she won 7-5 in the third against Maddie, so that's pretty good. So, and then of course the last tournament, and that of course is our girl, the sister, the queen, Miss Serena Williams, the ASB Classic. Bryce, let's talk about this tournament.
Finally, she won something. Took her 2 years.
No, 3. Because remember, it was 2017 Australian Open. That was her last title.
Right, but she didn't play really that year.
Well,
so
okay. You're talking about the baby.
So she's come back.
That's
she's
true.
Been on the tour for 2 years and has not won anything.
That's true.
Yet.
Yeah.
And I tell you, the match that I was most impressed with was the semifinals.
Oh my goodness.
When she gave Anna Samova those 2 breadsticks.
Yeah.
Now, I must say, I kind of thought that might happen. Because when I saw Anna Samova's interview the day before, and she had those stars in her eye, I'm like, Oh, I get to play Serena. Oh, she gonna get drove. She gonna get drove.
It's like, no, baby, you don't want to say that. Not before your match.
No.
Yeah, no.
She was a fangirl.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what she was, and she was playing her idol.
Yep.
And, you're not going to go out and beat your idol the very first time you play them most of the time. So.
Exactly. And let's be clear. Now, for me, Anna Samova, and I don't know why I feel this way, but she's like a combo of Sharapova and Anna Kournikova to me.
I can see that.
She looks like both of them, in my opinion. She has the longness of Sharapova, but she's got kind of the face and the prettiness of Anna Kournikova. Not that Sharapova's not cute either. But it's interesting to me that I feel like she's both of them. And again, that game style is something Serena loves.
Right.
And she might be like the 2.0 version of Sharapova, if you will. But still, that's Serena.
No.
That's Serena's. That's her wheelhouse. So to me, it did not surprise me whatsoever that she beat her 1-1.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, what did surprise me was Anna Samova in the quarterfinals.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I thought she was just going to wipe the court with Bouchard.
Yeah.
And Bouchard showed... Well, we haven't seen that kind of a game from her in a minute.
Well, now listen. Now, of course, wasn't nobody representing out of Canada for a while. Now you got,
right.
Now you got Andreescu's like, hey, I'm queen.
Right.
I'm the queen up in the north.
Right.
And Bouchard, I think they got a little jealous and put in some work in that off season. And I think that she might try and I don't predict that she's really going to do a ton of things, but I do feel like she will bring better game than she has in the last few years. That's for sure. Because when you got somebody that done showed out like Andreescu did in 2019, it's only going to motivate you to do better.
Well, that just shows she still has the potential to play really well.
Absolutely, man.
But anyway, back to the queen.
Exactly, back to the queen. Right? Exactly. Let's talk about who really matters. And that's Serena Williams. I'm trying to tell you, Bryce, I have to say, I was a little bit nervous with Serena because quietly she was very nervous when she came out, which of course always has us very concerned because it's like, but baby, you can't afford to be nervous like that if you're in a Grand Slam final. And that's what's basically happened in the last 4 times. But she was playing Pegula. She was able to rebound. She got a game right. And she started playing very well towards the end of the first set and throughout the second set. And she finally got a title as a mother.
Finally. But you know what? I want to give props to Pegula.
Oh, yeah.
Her game is really coming along. I mean, David Witt finally showed that he can bring something to the table.
Oh, that's mean. He brought them some things to the table with Venus. It ran its course. It just ran its course.
He was a coordinator with Venus, right? Richard Williams brought those things to the table for Venus, and he said, keep the engine running for me. That's all that happened there. But he apparently has been very good for Pegula's game.
Yes, he's been doing a good job with her. So good on you, Pegula, for making the finals. And Serena, by golly, we are happy for you. We're happy for ourselves.
Exactly. Because I've been fighting and defending your honor. And
right? Come on now. But no, good job for getting that title again. I know you and Olympia and Alex and all y'all. I know y'all are celebrating and you deserve it. So hopefully you can take that into the Australian Open.
Yes, we're praying.
Because we need you to tie up old Margaret Court.
And especially since we heard today that Andreescu pulled out of the Australian Open.
Right.
That should allow her to loosen her back up a little bit. No pun intended.
Loosen it up.
Because apparently her back get tight when she play Andreescu.
Man, I think a lot of them do quietly. She done put the scare in a whole bunch of them ladies. Let me tell you.
Right.
Your buddy.
Now, what about that doubles?
Man.
Oh.
Man. It was okay. So that doubles final was just tremendous.
Yes.
It had me a little sad for the reason of, it's kind of like, I don't mean to put it this way, but it's kind of like black on black crime. You just don't.
I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you just don't want it to happen, but it's unfortunately going to happen.
Right.
And you had Serena up in there with Wozniacki, and then she was going against Asha Muhammad and Taylor Townsend.
Right.
And I tell you what, Bryce, it was a fantastic doubles final.
It was. I enjoyed watching that.
It was wonderful. And I have to say, man, I was extremely happy for Taylor and for Asha.
Me too.
The sisters got it done. And mind you, yes, it was against Serena. Understand that. But you know what, Serena? You got your singles title.
Right.
So you all good. You all good.
Look, this was all to hook Wozniacki up anyway. Right. Serena wouldn't have been playing doubles if it wasn't for Wozniacki going out on her swan song. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, just kudos to the sisters for getting it done. I wish Taylor could have done a little bit more in the singles.
Yeah.
But I don't know about you, Bryce, but she looks good. She looks good.
She does.
She looks lean. She looks like, like she's ready for this 2020 season.
Right.
And I'm really excited about the potential, her getting into the Australian Open. And I want her to play that attacking tennis that allowed her to upset, our upset of the year.
Yeah.
And when she upset Halep in that US Open.
Right.
Come on, Taylor.
And I agree with you, Muhammad and Taylor. I was voting on them, and I was so excited when they won because I knew they needed to win more.
Yeah.
They're on the younger ends of their career, and they're trying to, as a matter of fact, they couldn't even qualify as a team for the Australian Open.
Man.
So this will be very, very good for them.
Yeah.
But to our listeners,
yeah.
I know sometimes I can probably come off as a little harsh or a little, whatever. But, sometimes when I see improvement, I like to recognize it.
That's right.
And one of the things I've been kind of harsh on has been Serena in the doubles, right?
Yeah.
And, and I still feel like, Venus is definitely the better doubles player between the two of them. But to me, Serena was basically like a very good singles player out there, not with a lot of good doubles technique, not with a lot of good doubles instincts. And I have to kind of roll that back now because I have now seen 3 times where Serena has been the backbone of her doubles team and has really showed out.
Yes.
I think about with her and Tiafoe at Hotman Cup.
Yep.
Where Tiafoe
my God.
did not hold up his side of the bargain at all, but Serena did.
Yes, she did.
I think about when she played with Andy Murray.
That's right.
At Wimbledon. Where Andy crapped the bed and Serena, more than did her part.
Yeah.
And let me tell you what, Wozniacki, she appears to be a very nice woman, very friendly. She has, she's had a good singles career. She's been #1 in the world.
Yes, she has.
She's won a Grand Slam singles title, but a doubles player she is not. I mean, I know Serena was like, damn girl, you heavy. So Serena looks so good in carrying Wozniacki that, this is 3 times in a row now that I've been really impressed with Serena's doubles play. So Serena, you won't hear me crack on you on a doubles court anymore. You probably say, why are you cracking on somebody with 14 Grand Slam doubles titles? But I am really impressed with the doubles that you've been playing, and I think she's really seasoned in that as she's gotten more experienced on the tour.
And so what I want to see happen is I need Serena to go on ahead and win the Australian and win the French. And here's why.
Okay.
Because at that point, she'll have 25 Grand Slams. She'll be free. It'll be all her, she is past Margaret Court. At that point, I think Venus and Serena should play doubles at Wimbledon.
That would be good.
That would make me so happy, dude.
Now,
oh my goodness.
Now you heard, though, Patrick said he doesn't want Serena.
But Patrick is thinking about the record. Once Serena hits the record, I don't think Patrick will care what Serena does at that point.
You don't think he wants to keep pushing?
Well, yeah, I think he might want to, but I think he'll relax off of it a little bit because of the fact that, again, it's hers at that point.
Right.
So, yeah, you want to push it, but I honestly believe that they would entertain doing doubles at Wimbledon, which would make me extremely happy.
Yeah. I would like... I just have a feeling she's going to reserve her doubles play this year to the Olympics.
The Olympics with Venus. Yeah, I think you're right.
Because here's the thing. This is the other thing you have to remember. If Serena wins the Australian and the French.
Ooh, that's right. She's going for the calendar slam.
Right.
Golden Slam.
Yes.
Golden Slam.
Golden Slam.
So Olympics might even be.
Right. Venus might be out there with Mohammed.
Right?
Trying to get her stroke on.
While Serena's is in singles, man. I'm telling you. That'd be awful.
Hey, I'm just keeping it real.
You know what? That's truth though. That is very true. But Serena, go and get it. Go and get it. Let's get this AO.
So let's talk a little bit about the men's results from last weekend. And obviously the big thing on the calendar was the ATP Cup.
Yes.
And as an event, like you said, we're going to talk about that in the Hot Topics section.
Yes.
But before I start talking about the results of the ATP Cup, I do want to recognize that there was another tournament that was going on last week in Qatar. Basically for all the people whose countries couldn't qualify for the ATP Cup, or they didn't fit in the top couple spots.
Exactly.
Right. And
salty.
Exactly. And I was really thinking that because the top seed was Wawrinka, number 2 seed was Rublev. I was thinking it was going to be a Wawrinka Rublev final.
Yeah.
One of those guys made it. And that was Rublev. And not only did he make the final, he actually won the whole tournament. So congratulations, Rublev.
Right, Rublev. Good for you.
While your boys Medvedev and Hachinov were working it out and at the ATP Cup.
Right.
But who I want to give a special shout out to this, and I've seen this guy's name before. I can't really remember what his playing style is like. But there's Quentin Moutet.
Yeah, is he French?
It looks French.
I think I've seen him before, and I think he's a French player.
Well, let me tell you what he did last week at the Qatar Open.
Let's talk.
First of all, he beat Tennis Sandgren, which we know really ain't much of anything. But then after that, he beat Raonic.
Wow.
Then he beat Verdasco. He probably just kept it to his backhand, if you ask Curios. And then he beat our boy Wawrinka.
Wow.
Sorry,
He
Marsha.
beat Stan? Yeah, exactly. Wow.
He beat Stan. Now, Rublev wasn't hearing none of that noise in the finals.
Right.
He got him there, but what a week for that guy.
Wow.
Those were some good wins.
That's quality wins right there. Congratulations.
Right.
Holy moly.
Now, personally, I was disappointed because my boy Songo was in the tournament. He went out in the second round to that
Kecmanovic.
Yeah.
Kecmanovic is he's a really good up and coming young guy. So I wouldn't be too down on that loss. Yeah. Kecmanovic is good. He's really good.
Well, Song apparently thinks he's very good too. But anyway, that was Qatar. So let's go to what was the talk of the week on the men's tour, and that really almost 2 weeks. Is the ATP Cup. Now, as you probably remember, it started off with 24 teams across 3 different cities. And then they congregated in Sydney for the quarterfinals. So the quarterfinal matchups we had were Serbia versus Canada. They beat them 3-0.
Yep.
Russia versus Argentina. They beat them 3-0. Australia versus Great Britain.
Right.
They beat them 2-1. And then Spain versus Belgium, they beat them 2-1. So bringing it into the semifinals, we had Serbia beat Russia 3-0, and we had Spain beat Australia 3-0. In the finals, you had the number 1 and number 2 players in the world. Their 2 teams went against each other, Serbia and Spain. And I must admit, I'm a little surprised. I actually thought Spain was going to take it. But Serbia won. And props to Djokovic, to Lajovic. And even the fact that I don't typically consider Djokovic that good of a doubles player, but he was helping to get his doubles wins.
That's what I'm saying. He got out there and got it done.
That was huge.
And that's the surprising part, Bryce, is that's why I was where you were. I thought Spain would take it only because they have a better pedigree from a double standpoint.
Correct.
With all of their folks. I mean, because you've got Feliciano Lopez, you got Mark Lopez, you've got all these different
Nadal.
Nadal, of course, and all these great. I mean, these are like gold medal type players, and for I don't know, it was just strange to me that they weren't able to pull out that doubles. But again, Djokovic was on a mission. He was like, "Nah, man, this is the inaugural ATP Cup. I want this," and
they took it. They absolutely took it. So, like we said, we're going to talk a little more about the actual tournament, the event itself during our hot topics.
Right.
But what I want to do is what the ATP Cup did for me more than what country won is it gave us an opportunity to see how the players are looking at the beginning of the year. Them playing against some really good competition.
Right.
And so I made a few notes before recording tonight of just some positive things I saw from players that had me encouraged for 2020.
Yeah.
And some things that had me a little concerned going into 2020 with certain players.
Right.
So we'll be positive. We'll start with the good stuff. So just jump in here as usual, Isaac.
Absolutely.
So first person who's looking like a very solid member of the top 10 is RBA.
Yes, boy, oh boy, yes he is. I mean, and the one thing that you have to point out was that match against Kyrgios.
Yep.
Oh my God. I honestly thought Kyrgios was going to wipe the floor with him. If I'm being 100% honest with you, going into that match, I was like, Kyrgios is about to put the beat down on RBA. RBA was having none of it.
None of it.
He was like, ain't nobody scared of you.
And what he exposed about Kyrgios is that Kyrgios really does not have a plan B.
No.
If he can't really hit you off the court,
if the antics can't quite get you off your game, then unfortunately, I don't know that he has anything to kind of go back to. It was really surprising because RBA was like, no, I'm just gonna keep it in. I'm just gonna keep it in, keep it low. He has those flat shots that stay low on the court, and it just wasn't for Nick on the day. Really surprising.
Casper Ruud.
Yeah, Casper showed out.
Yeah, he had some really nice wins. He beat Isner. He beat, I forgot, he had another really good win.
Yeah.
But he looked like his game has gone to another level. Now, I'm not expecting for Casper to go out here and win no Grand Slams.
No.
But I tell you what, I think he will show up and have some really good matches.
I absolutely agree with you. I think he really performed well in that ATP Cup, and it shows that he's ready for 2020. He's ready.
Right. I'll tell you someone who I was already kind of a low-key fan of, but now I'm like, okay, I'm going to get the T-shirt.
I love it.
No, that Dusan Lajovic.
Yeah, restaurant owner.
Is he a restaurant owner?
Apparently, there is a story where I guess a team or somebody, they were having a Davis Cup, and I think it might have been the USA. He invited the team to his family's restaurant. Yeah. Dusan Lajovic is a very quality guy.
Well, I was surprised with the quality of his backhand.
That
because
backhand.
I knew he had the forehand. I knew he kind of had that gritty play. Yeah. But I thought that backhand was vulnerable.
It didn't look vulnerable.
No, it did not look vulnerable at all to me. And he may be on Bryce's squad now. Yeah, I really like him.
He's a good guy, definitely.
The Beast, or I guess we're calling him the Demon.
The Demon.
Alex de Minaur.
Yes, sir.
That dude.
Listen. Yeah. Alex is no joke.
Yeah.
He is no joke.
Yeah.
He will run for days. He got shots. I mean, he comes out of his shoes on his forehand. I love that guy. I love his game. I just love his professionalism and his fight.
Yes.
And it is, I like him.
Big fan. I remember when we were checking him out when we were in Australia. Yeah. Remember? Because he was kind of having a breakout run at the Australian Open.
That's right.
But very impressed with him. I don't think anybody's going to want to see him in their section of the draw at all. He got some young legs too.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's good to go. Mm-hmm. This next person is someone I guarantee you will be in the top 10 by the end of the year.
Okay.
Shapovalov. He has found now the one thing.
Yuzny.
Now, but I will tell you this: I am a little worried about him, a little bit like Kyrgios. Yeah. I wonder about his plan B. You know,
but I think Yuzny will be able to help him with that because if you remember Mikhail Yuzny, he had a lot of variety in his game as well, and he's helped Shapovalov not only kind of hone into the way to hit the shots, but he's also getting him mentally right. And he's staying in things a lot longer than before. I believe he will help him to get that B game, that C game. Yeah. He looks good.
He looks really good.
Yes, sir.
He's one of those players, like they say, he can take the racket out your hand.
Yes, he can.
And
he's strong.
And he's clearly above FAA.
Yeah. For sure. I think that might have been his motivation because remember, last summer, everybody was giving all that love to FAA. We still love you, FAA. Don't get it twisted. Right. But at the same time, I think Shapovalov saw that and was like, wait a minute. I broke out first from Canada. I'm the one.
Right.
So don't be tripping. And that's why I think he went and got Uzi, and he has tightened some things up, and he really, really looks good.
He looks really good.
Yeah.
I just want to give a general shout out to the Russian team.
Ooh, yeah.
First of all, Medvedev, even though he lost to Djokovic, and it was a great match.
It was a great match.
Honestly. To me, Medvedev, from a threat standpoint, is absolutely in that top group. I mean, I know we historically talk about the big three, right?
Yeah.
But I think we also know that Medvedev and Tsitsipas and team can get a win on any of those guys on any day.
Yes, they can.
And Medvedev can potentially be a future number one.
Oh, I believe so, for sure, because he's got all the shots, and he's very creative, and his mind is just. I think he's always thinking. He's always just, how do I, do things differently, change things up, and he's a competitor, and I like the guy. I really do. Yeah, I agree with you. He will be a number one in the future. Right. I really believe that.
Shout out to Goffin. For any time you beat one of the top three, the big three, right?
Exactly.
And, Rafa was talking about he was all hot. I know he was, because he was running after all them balls.
Goffin was here, right? Shoot. Goffin was like, I'm not scared of you. We on hard courts.
Yeah.
You Clay.
So hopefully that builds a little confidence in him on the way back. And then just a very small shout out to Great Britain, because I thought they were just going to get the floor wiped with them, right?
Daniel Evans.
He
was like, now that I'm back from my suspension, y'all need to watch out for me.
Right, yeah. Put that pipe down. But now, and then Cam Norrie.
Yeah.
I mean, he's looking really good. So let's quickly bounce over to some of the things I'm a little concerned about.
Yeah.
He is who we thought he was.
Well,
Zverev.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you what, I think other people are a little more optimistic about his future than I am. Don't get me wrong, he's not going to be like top 50 or top 60 in the world. But I think he will be more so in that 10 to 15 range, because I think not only does he struggle sometimes with motivation, I think he struggles with his game. Yeah. And right now, I don't think nobody's scared of Alexander Zverev.
No, nobody's scared. No, not at all. Especially when you're hitting double faults like he's been hitting. Them double faults are a mess. I mean, just feet out. And you just, that's just very disappointing and concerning. And again, I think it goes to the professionalism. I think a whole bunch. The minute, again, I still go back to when Juan Carlos Ferrero was a part of his camp. And I am a huge fan of Juan Carlos Ferrero, because you talk about discipline. You talk about somebody that really got the most out of their game. Won a Grand Slam, won the French. Right. I'm sorry. He, to me, is the standard. I mean, well, not the standard, but he's right up there in my eyes with someone like a David Ferrer. And so when he just leaves your team because he's basically like, you're not showing the level of professionalism that he feels like you should have, or the seriousness or focus, that speaks volumes in my eyes. So to me, Zverev has just a lot of growing up to do. And if he really, I think the skill is there, Bryce. And I think that's what everybody talks to, is the actual skill, the actual hitting of the ball, movement. He's got all of the elements. But it's a matter of, can he put the other things that have to be there in place in order to be a champion?
And see, I'm starting to question that now.
I am as well.
Because let's not forget, Lendl also walked away from him too.
Let's be clear.
So I mean,
when you have folks like that walking away from you, you really need to do some self-reflection.
Right. So little concern there.
Yeah.
This next one's not a huge concern, but Tsitsipas sometimes is still having these dips. A little bit. He's now. Don't get me wrong. Tsitsipas is in that top group that I was talking about.
Yes.
But I would like to see him work on his consistency. See a little bit. Yeah. I definitely didn't like the look where he blew up and ended up hitting his dad.
Yeah.
And
what was that about? I'll tell you what. If I hit my dad like that, you wouldn't see me.
Exactly right.
They'd be like, "Where's Isaac? He gone."
Yeah. No. So anyway, just want him to tighten his stuff up.
Oh yeah.
The American team in general. I don't even know where to start with that. John Isner didn't win not one of his matches. Taylor Fritz, I think, won one. The doubles didn't win. I knew the doubles weren't gonna win nothing because they had that.
Ryan brothers weren't there.
No, they had that Raji Ram playing.
Hey, you leave Rajiv alone. Leave him
I wish he had left Venus alone at the Olympics. But anyway.
Oh God. Yeah, it was kind of tight on the American squad. Simply put, they just were not ready. I don't think they were ready for 2020 just yet. I think they were like, oh yeah, we got to play the ATP or something. But no, they didn't show up. I think they literally probably looked at it as an exhibition versus it being something really serious where they could get some points and actually show up. Yeah, because I definitely hugely disappointing.
Yeah.
He said the whole American.
The whole American team, I just no. And get Jack Sock out there something to win some doubles or something.
Some doubles, exactly. Gee. Oh man.
But and the last person is we've already kind of mentioned him is FAA.
Yeah.
And I know he's young and he's got time, but he needs to really start tightening some of that stuff up. He's starting 2020 with some of the bad stuff he had in 2019.
Oh, for sure. And you could tell that he was very disappointed in himself with those results. I mean, the double faults and just like you were saying, I think it goes back to what you were saying about Kyrgios. He hasn't quite developed a plan B or a B game yet.
Right.
He's just trying to hit folks off the court, and unfortunately that, like when he plays Struff, it's like you can't play Struff straight up like that. Struff is power,
right?
And that's why he ended up losing to him. So, yeah. So, in any case, good review, Bryce. We'll go ahead and jump into the ladies because we do have a bit going on from a ladies standpoint. We've got 2 tournaments that are happening this week, and we'll talk about them a little bit. If I can pull out my sheets here, yeah. So we've got Hobart, and we've got. No, that's not right. We've got Adelaide. That's right. Hobart and Adelaide. So I don't know about you, Bryce, but yeah, the Hobart, there's not a whole bunch going on there. We've only got a couple people in the top 8 that are really kind of worth talking about. You got Elise Mertens, who's leading the charge. You've got Garbina Muguruza. You got Rebekina Zhang, and I'm not even gonna try any other names. But overall, we've got that tournament, folks. Hopefully, you know if they have it on regular TV, please watch it, or if it'll probably be on Tennis Channel Plus. Anyway, watch it if you can.
Yeah, let me know who won.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna waste no time watching that one.
But Adelaide is looking pretty good now. You've got from a seeding standpoint, the top seed is Ash Barty, second seed is Halep. Kvitova has pulled out, so I believe they're going to put probably a lucky loser in her place. You've got Bencic, the 4th seed, Kiki Bertens is 5, Sabalenka 6, Sonia Kenin is 7, and Vondrousova is 8. So pretty good squad if you're talking about the week before a Grand Slam Open is starting. So a couple of these I have to say I'm a little bit surprised at, but overall, I guess they're still they want to be in form as they start the Australian Open. So
and when I look at it, you have someone like Halep who didn't play this past week,
right? So
and then I look at some of these other ones. They played, but they lost
early, like Ash Barty and Bencic. Yeah. Well, Sabalenka too. Yeah,
right.
She lost early. So yeah. I guess I get it, but anyway. So those are the top 8 seeds, and so Bryce, since we've got some relatively good names in there, we're gonna go ahead and do our traditional semis, final, and champion on this one. So, who do you have making it to the semis on the top and bottom halves?
For the top, I have a Barty Bencic semi, and on the bottom, I have Bertens Halep.
Oh man, so we're quite different on this one for the first time in a very long time.
Okay.
So I actually have Sloane versus Sonia Kenin in the first semifinal. Yeah, I stretched out there. So I have them playing, and then at the bottom, I have Kerber versus Halep. So at least we have Halep together.
Oh, okay. Wow. Who do you have winning the overall? I mean, in the finals, how do you have that going?
So I believe Sloane would get past Sonia Kenin, and I have Halep getting past Kerber.
I have Bencic getting past Barty and Halep versus Bertens.
Okay.
Over Bertens.
Oh, so you have Halep winning?
And I have Halep winning it all.
Okay. I actually have Sloane beating Halep.
You think this sister girl thing is going to just continue all year, don't you?
That girl,
All right. I hope she does win.
Hey.
I would be very happy for her.
To me, she's back with Kamal. She did not look good last week. I think it was just her kind of getting the dust off. I really feel like she's going to try and show out in this tournament. So.
Seems like she's been getting the dust off for a while.
Well, that's a very true statement.
I mean,
actually.
I think, but it goes back to something that you said, which is, I personally don't expect any consistent results from her until after her wedding. I mean, I just don't.
Do we even know when that is?
It needs to be soon. It needs to be soon. That's all I'm saying.
I don't disagree with you on that. That's for sure.
So, well, speaking of this week with the men, now I know we say we typically don't talk about the 250 level tournaments, and we're really not going to spend much time on this. Yeah. I'm just going to let you know who's playing this week because it's kind of like the women. It's interesting. There's some guys playing that I would have thought maybe would have taken this week off, but we have a tournament in Adelaide. And people of interest who are playing are FAA, Rublev, Karina Busta. I was about to say Buster. Nick Kyrgios. He did that to me.
Shame.
Taylor Fritz.
Yep.
Garin, Struff, and Opelka. So there's some potentially good matchups there.
Those are some good names.
And then in the ASB for the men, you have Fonini, Shapovalov, Hachinov, Isner, Benoit Paire, Herkic, Manarino, and Albert.
Nice, like I said, good names.
Yeah,
those are some good names, especially like I said, right before the Australian Open. That's interesting that they decided to play, especially those guys that played the ATP Cup.
Yes,
because you would have thought that they would have gotten enough matches out of that they would want to have a week off before going into the AO.
I would have. I see why Isner's playing, but the rest of them, I totally agree with you on that.
Yeah, that's a little questionable, but hey. If y'all gonna get out there, go and get it. Right. Make them coins. Make them coins.
So, Isaac, let's now kind of move over to the hot topic.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
So, the ATP Cup, brand new event on the calendar this year. It is, I guess, officially the replacement to the Hopman Cup.
Correct.
But I really don't understand that because the Hopman Cup had the men and the women. Right. And this only has the men.
Correct.
So
feels a little wrong.
Yeah, it doesn't feel right there. For me, it feels like it's, and although I enjoyed it, it felt just kind of like a mini version of Davis Cup.
Correct.
But there are some differences here, right? Because we know the ATP Cup is giving ranking points,
right?
Which Davis Cup doesn't, right? Which is a difference. But structure-wise, they're very similar. So, just want to get, what are your initial thoughts about the event, the viability of it going forward, and if there are any changes that you would like to see the ATP consider?
It's, you know what, I have to be honest with you, Bryce. I'm struggling a bit with the ATP Cup because I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the matches. I enjoyed the fact that it was the number ones from the countries. Then you had the number twos battling, and then you had doubles. So different from, Davis Cup. You didn't have 5 matches. You had the 3.
Right.
I like the format of it. But there's just a couple of things that I'm like, I mean, it's at the beginning of the season, right before a Grand Slam, and it's in Australia. I shouldn't say Australia like that's a bad thing, but it just, to me, it limits the ability to have it in different locations because of the fact that you wouldn't want to have to travel across the world in order to get to Australia to play the AO. Right. So they're going to basically try and have it in very close locations. So someplace like a United States, I don't know if they would even consider having it here. Right. So I get concerned about the location, the flexibility of the locations. And then, people, of course, showing up for it or playing in it. So I have a couple little concerns from that standpoint. But overall, format-wise, I really enjoyed it, man. I thought it was really very cool. And, I mean, I know that there were some players out there who were maybe the number 3 for their country and didn't get invited. or whatever, and they was a little salty. Well, tighten your game up and get to number 2 or number 1. Right. I mean, just simply put, that's my mindset of it. I know that others feel differently, and I know some of the players even spoke out on that. I think Riley Opelka even spoke out on that. Yeah. But I mean, hey, just tighten your game up and get to take one of the 2 spots that you got for your country.
Right. I heard Djokovic and definitely Nadal talking about they would like to see the heads of the tours get together and consolidate these cups into one event. They feel like, look, we already know that the tennis schedule is full. It's a full year.
Yes.
And even the times that they are quote unquote off, they're off playing exhibitions or whatever. So they're not really off anyway.
Right.
Now, I don't think they are talking about consolidating with the Laver Cup, because the Laver Cup is different. It's only 3 days.
That's right.
It's not really by country. It's more regional, right? So it's creating a different experience than what you would get someplace else.
That's right.
Now, as it relates to Davis Cup and the ATP Cup, I absolutely believe these events should just be one. Mm-hmm. And choose either one format or the other. But you're basically duplicating the same event within a couple of months.
I completely agree with you.
Right. So get together, pick one, or make some small modifications. Yeah. You don't need both.
And truth, I thought the ATP Cup was a replacement for the
Davis
Cup.
I did too.
I honestly did. And when they came back and they was still talking about Davis Cup, I was like, wait a minute, I'm confused. Because I 100% agree with what you're saying. We don't need both. Right. It's too much.
And if you think about it now, on the men's tour, you have 3 cups.
Right.
And the women, you just have 1 now.
Right.
Because at least before, the Hotman Cup added value because it was the only one that had men and women.
That's right.
And I would even be down for them doing that with the ATP, bringing the WTA in, right? And make it just really one big thing, right, by country, right? And you have a couple of the top men and women from the country. Yeah. And it really changes how countries qualify now.
That's
because as you think about how a country like Serbia qualified on the men's side, who are the top Serbian women?
Because, like Ivanovic and the big ones, they gone.
Right.
So, I have no idea who's from Serbia on the women's tour.
Exactly. So, I just... You know how sometimes you look at a decision, whether it's a product or a service or whatever, and you're like, somebody had to approve this.
Yeah.
It makes me kind of give them kind of the side eye on this, because just looking at this for 5 seconds, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
And the only saving grace the ATP Cup it has 2 saving graces, right? Number 1, I know that they made a huge appeal to the top players to play this year so that it could get off on a good foot. Sorry, I was about to get all James Brown on you.
On the good foot.
Right. But, so that helped. Yeah. And and the matches were actually very good. And it was good to watch.
Absolutely.
But, you take somebody like a Nadal who went all the way and won Davis Cup just a couple months ago.
Right.
And then now he's made it to the finals of the ATP Cup. And now he's got a Grand Slam tournament coming up.
In a week. Yeah. It's a lot.
I think, So I don't know who. I think they're going to receive enough feedback though from the players, from either the people that were disgruntled, like an Opelka who just missed the cut, right? And you have the top players who are going to be the ones that are going to be, roped in to playing, because they're bringing the rankings in for their teams. It'll be very interesting. Now, I saw someone say, and I can't remember who said it, they doubt that really many changes will be able to be made for next year, 2021. Okay. Because you know how things are. Everything's planned a year in advance already, right? But hopefully for 2022, and honestly, I think because the Davis Cup has such a long tradition in the game of tennis, the ATP Cup has to take the low on this.
Yeah, right? I agree with you.
And so if you want to move Davis Cup to the beginning of the year, it just made no sense to me of why they eliminated Hopman Cup. It was a perfect event in Australia, and with the men and the women. It's just, I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I loved the Hopman Cup. Right. Again, the fact that you had the male and female from a country and they're competing mixed doubles, and I liked that format a lot. So if I had to pick between the ATP Cup and the Hopman Cup, I personally would pick the Hopman Cup because I enjoy watching the women. I want to watch them play and the interactions. I mean, you can't beat last year when you had Tiafoe and Serena against Roger and Bencic. I mean, come on, that to me was incredible.
Right.
I feel like we will miss out on some really good quality, play and special things that can happen when you're intertwining both the women and the
men's tours. Yeah, right. I agree. So, well, everyone, those are our thoughts on the ATP Cup. Yeah. It's a great event. Just feels a little redundant.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And redundant as a spectator is not that big of a deal.
Right.
But the players... But
from a player standpoint...
Yeah, they should probably get a little more consideration in that.
Yeah, but we'd love to hear kind of some comments that you all might have because, hey, maybe we're off the chair here. Maybe y'all are like, brothers on tennis, y'all crazy. We love the ATP Cup and it's perfect for tennis. Hey, if you feel that way, it's all good. We would love to hear from you though.
Absolutely, that is so true. Thanks for bringing that up, Isaac.
Yeah.
So, well, we're gonna wrap this episode up, and as we've been saying all along, we are so excited for 2020.
Ooh, yes.
And we've got some really good stuff coming up for you very soon.
Yes.
This upcoming Friday, we should receive the draws for. I think we need to go on for that. But the actual draws, DRAWS on paper, for the Australian Open for the men and the women singles.
Yes.
What Isaac and I are going to do, we're going to get together on Friday probably and record our preview episode for the 2020 Australian Open.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Yeah, and try to have that up for you guys on Sunday.
Yes.
And see how well we do with our predictions, go through these draws. I'm going to laugh every time I say that. And see, I'm sure. Look, the tennis world is so deep right now. Mm-hmm. There are going to be some amazing first round matchups, and I can't wait to see what those are.
I am so there with you, my friend. I'm so happy that the tennis season has gotten back, that has started again. And like I said, the fact that we got a Grand Slam to look forward to and some incredible matches, because folks are they want to show out. They want to stamp themselves as, hey, I am here, and it is 2020. So everybody's going to try and do their thing. So I cannot wait to see what some of these matchups will be.
Absolutely. So, stay locked in with us. We're going to be hitting you with a couple of shows here in the next couple of weeks. But we are so excited and so looking forward to it. And remember, please, redcross.org.au if you are in a position to help support the tragic fires that are happening down in Australia. So, with that, this is your boy Bryce.
And this is your boy Isaac.
And we are Brothers on Tennis, and we will talk to you in a couple of days. Take care, everyone.